Hey everybody, it's Editing Room O here. And as you may notice, there's been a large gap between the first, second, and the third episode. So this audio was recorded November 2019, which is why some of the timing references are weird. Um, I could apologize for the gap, but I'm not going to. So please enjoy the show. We'll see you soon.
Physically do the podcast.
3, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Harrowed Harbingers podcast. I'm O,
And I'm X.
and we have a very special episode for you today. So, as all of you know, the Elusive Mind of Man released 25th of December,
2019.
and we're here to
Breakdown.
track by track and kind of talk about our process through the album, talk about the individual songs, what went right, what went wrong.
Yeah. There's few things on both sides.
Yeah, very, very a few things. Yeah.
Yeah, not so much on the bad side this time.
No, what's happened to your voice, man? You sound like a frog.
Yeah, it's after the singing.
Do you want to like clear your throat? You feeling good?
No. No, I'm feeling fine.
Yeah, okay. Enjoy some tap water. So Elusive Mind of Man, we've been working on it
The last year.
more like last 6 months. We've had
Oh yeah, solid work the last 6 months.
we probably finished all the recording like July, late July.
Yeah, July, June, around that time.
Yeah, and the rest has been kind of post-production. I mean, if you go listen to the last podcast episode, you know that we tend to have a kind of 2 to 3 month kind of buffer period between.
Yes. So like we'll put a shit ton out. And then
Yeah.
it's just kind of like this break period where I'm like figuring out how I want to mix the rest of the album. I think that's what it is. Usually it's me going, I can't come up with anything, and I'm just like rejecting ideas because I'm focusing on this, like,
Yeah, totally.
on how I want the rest of the album to sound and what kind of feel we're going for.
Because you tend to do like individual mixes at the time, then do kind of an overhaul when you get
Yeah.
to
So
the
like,
overall mixing.
yeah, because like I'll be thinking about like the first few tracks. This is how it go in my head. It's like, okay, the first few tracks, they'll probably be the best ones, because usually, because that's like restarting, coming up with new ideas, it's usually the best ideas start from that. And then it's like, I think about releasing them as singles, so I want them to stand out on their own. And then eventually, like, as we create more and more and more, sometimes you'll have like this crazy track that started off as not the best track, and then drums get added, and it's like, whoa, like, so that's how it usually starts. And then I'm like, okay, this is definitely being released as a single, so I'll make that one more unique. So like Miracles, I was hoping that was actually going to be released as a single at the time.
Yeah, we
because
probably should have.
Because of like the high pitched guitars and all the stuff I added to it. But like everything else, I kind of mixed all at once. But Miracles I made stand out, and Orion's Bridge.
Yeah.
But Orion's Bridge was one of the first ones, and we're like, hey, let's release that as a single.
Yeah. So the first track is Harsh. So Harsh was kind of part of that little updraft we have at the start of every album cycle.
Yes.
Yeah. So it started off with Black Hole and went kind of Rose, another track we haven't released yet. Orion's Bridge and this were the first kind of.
Yeah, they were like the first few tracks that kind of started it all off, kind of got the ball rolling.
Yeah, I think that's a really good term for it, starting the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we tend to kind of, do probably the first half of an album in the first kind of month or two, and then kind of slowly plot out for the remaining 4 or 5,
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, that's basically how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, not that slowing down's like bad or anything.
No,
It gives us
I think it's
good time. Yeah, to develop
Yeah.
ideas. Yeah, totally.
Because sometimes you'll be just like stuck on the one thing, and you just keep it all the same, and it's like,
You kind of notice in kind of the songs that were made at the same time, some of the chord shapes are pretty similar.
yeah, like Rose and Orion's Bridge actually have quite similar chord shapes, just played at like different intonations and different tones and all that stuff.
Do you find like it's the same with singing?
Nah, singing is based on like, I feel like the mood of the song. So like Orion's Bridge and Rose have completely different feels, so I sung it very differently.
Yeah, totally.
And that's just like listening to the song straight off the bat and then getting lyrics from you, and then just going off from there.
Yeah, but yeah, Harsh was an early one, and Yeah, there's been a really big kind of, I guess, jump in quality between the first and second album.
Yeah, that's me learning how to EQ.
Yeah, yeah.
After I learned how to EQ, even slightly, like just basic stuff, it just like immediately picked up clarity, 100%. I remember that was a big issue in the first album.
We basically improved a lot in our respective fields, kind of in that like 3-month gap between.
I did singing lessons,
Yeah,
and you just got really good at bass.
yeah.
So
Oh, I wouldn't
practice.
say really good. Hold it.
I said pretty good.
Hold the train. Okay,
I
good.
said pretty good,
good,
but you're
yeah.
getting better.
Yeah, yeah, and that kind of 3-month gap. I think it was good to kind of take a break from the recording as well. You know.
Yeah, it was kind of nice
Mm.
of like just sitting back for a bit and just either like mixing or like I don't know, just taking a break sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm on it most of the time.
Mm.
You get a nice break.
Yeah, totally.
I have to mix it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that takes the longest. Mixing it takes the longest. So sometimes I'll just take a day off and
Yeah.
I'll just
Totally.
it's kind of good because it helps me just go, oh, okay, and then I get back into it and then I remember stuff.
I mean, yeah, like when
Like
I
what
go
I want to add
home,
and stuff like that.
when I go home, like there's no Harrowed Harbingers there besides bass practice and banjo practice, really.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
when I get home, it's
You're trapped.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I get home, it's just like okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Time to mix 4 songs that we've made in one day.
Ruh-roh. Yeah.
I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, but
But sometimes we do that.
Harsh was the first song to use keyboard, right? Like as a,
I think so.
because I think you added the Orion's Bridge keyboard like much later,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I actually added it after Harsh. So Harsh was like made first. Orion's Bridge was like in the works at the time.
Mm.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like fully done, but it was like working on.
Yeah, because Harsh was the first one that, because I think we still hadn't added the drum track to Black Hole at the time.
Yeah, like we didn't have many drum tracks at all.
Yeah, yeah. So I think Harsh was probably the first one.
This album was me
complete.
learning how to do drums actually,
Yeah, yeah.
because now I figured out how to get a really nice snap on the snare. But I didn't do it in this album. But I figured it out at the very end, which sucks.
Mm. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's still a learning process. So like the next one is gonna be better.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and we've got I forget how much we've talked about what's coming up next, but we are working on quite a bit.
Yeah, we've got a few things
Mm.
in the works.
Yeah, Harsh, was the first kind of main keyboard kind of led one.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have like that guitar, the boom, 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 which is actually a guitar, which sounds kind of like a keyboard.
And then the high pitched harmonics, which also sound like that. The do
Yeah.
do 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 that in the background if you hear it.
Yeah, totally.
And the way I EQ'd it makes it stand out a lot. So I ran
Yeah.
through a lot of different effects. A lot.
You were like pretty obviously the driver in terms of making Harsh, in terms of kind of making up the tune. So what's the story with that?
The story. It was a
Yeah.
breakup.
Yeah, fun fact, fellas, Harsh actually a breakup song.
I just remember sitting in my room, and I had these like basically it's just 2 chords. It's just I'm pretty sure it's E minor and C minor or something like that, or E minor and C or something. It was just like feeling like awful, and I just kept putting these 2 chords on repeat. And then I basically just recorded it, just these 2 chords, simple chords. I didn't even add any melody to it, but I'm like, Dante, I want to do something with this.
Yeah.
I want to do something with this. And that's kind of how it all was like put together.
Yeah.
It started just me sitting in my room, just putting it on repeat, and I'm just like, just the constant 2 chords over and over again.
I mean, what I think is the really funny part is that X didn't actually like tell me that this was that like he'd made this in response to the breakup.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I stay pretty personal about that stuff.
Yeah. Plus, we hadn't talked for about a week.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and that's a long time for us because I don't remember kind of what time period that was around.
It was like March.
Yeah, but I don't know what I would have been doing that time. But for whatever reason, we hadn't talked in a week. But I don't know. Maybe because I'd heard it, like I'd heard about the breakup. It was like the ideas were fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
Or just I picked that up from the musicality. But yeah, came back with a song about rejection, so that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works pretty well. It was kind of cool though because it came from your perspective, even though I didn't have to say much.
Yeah.
Which is good. It means that I can get across a message just through music.
Yeah, totally.
Which is cool. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's what that's what you want. You want to be kind of connecting through the music.
Even people who don't understand English, I want them to understand what
you can still get a feel.
What we're making, yeah.
Yeah, you can still get a feel. You can still kind of understand the message. Like I'm sure if someone who didn't speak English listened to like Rage Against the Machine, they'd still probably get the general idea, right?
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah, like I think that was like my main emotional communication, like through music, because I absolutely suck at talking about my emotions.
Yeah,
like I'm awful at it. Like I cannot just go, I'm feeling bad or anything like that. I have to play it and then give it out to people. Yeah, that's my best way to like say stuff.
Yeah, and kind of with like connecting, kind of through music. You know, you think about like. You know, Harsh is very much a 2-chord song.
Yes.
You know, but it really doesn't feel like a 2-chord song.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very kind of like personal, very kind of visceral.
It's like this. There's a complexity in the simplicity of it as well.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of cool. It was awesome putting it together. It was really fun putting it together.
Yeah. Have you listened to the song Jane Says by Jane's Addiction?
I still haven't.
Yeah, yeah.
I just think you just need to send me a list of all the stuff I should listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's also like a 2-chord song. It's so simple, but it's like it's so personal, kind of so visceral, and it's about the connection there.
Yeah. So like, what are like some main features of that song?
Main features of Jane Says.
Yeah, like that really stand out. Like, what makes it like?
Yeah, totally. It's the kind of colloquial language where it's just because it's a lot of kind of the speaker saying how, you know, Jane says, like, and she's talking about like the worst parts of her life, kind of thing. It's a song about heroin addiction. So yeah, so it's like, you know, like Jane says, like, you know, pull my dinner out of my pocket, kind of thing. And like, it opens with her kind of talking about her abusive boyfriend, and it's like, I'm done with Sergio. He treats me like a rag doll. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah, that's cool. I gotta listen to that. I definitely have to listen.
Yeah, it's kind of the deep, hard-hitting stuff. You know, the best line I draw is, you know, the I'm alive when my skin goes white. I'm alive when it's a cold, cold night. Yeah. I'm alive.
There's actually, behind that transition, there's actually me singing very high-pitched.
Yeah.
I'm alive. Yeah, like way up there, like way up there.
Yeah,
and
I think one thing we got good at in the first album was like vocal layering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And harmonies.
Yeah.
That was me figuring out how to sing. And basically, Lullaby was my practice, but that's the song that comes later. I'll talk about that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but the bass line's also pretty laid in this one, but for a totally different reason. Which is that, so this, like, coming out of the first album, I'd had a lot of practice. I was feeling like a bit of a hot shot.
You know what? Yeah, I remember. I remember trying to put this together. It was like a hot ass. It was like a hot ass night.
Yeah. Oh
and
my god.
We're in Australia, right? So they get to like 34 degrees, and it stays like that through the night.
Yeah, and the issue is where like we have to turn any kind of air conditioning we have off in the studio when we're recording.
Yeah, like we don't have any like airflow.
Yeah. We have one.
We were
fan.
in a garage, and then we moved.
Yeah.
But
we're kind of getting. Yeah, it's weird now. We're kind of in the garage and not in the garage nowadays. Yeah. I think it depends what we're doing, I guess.
Yeah. So if it's like post-production, it's inside now.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like I tell you what, I really like having the music space.
I like this for recording.
Totally. Yeah.
The space we're in right now, we were using this originally.
Yeah, for like everything.
Yeah. But now I reckon I can mix.
Because you kept freezing to death or like burning to a puddle.
Yeah, I would sit
mixing.
I would sit in the garage, and I would just basically melt.
Yeah.
And there'll be like mornings where I'm like in there working, and then would rock up at 11 a.m. every morning.
Yeah.
at least twice or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
when
dude.
that's when we were getting busy.
Yeah. Oh, there were times where I was like literally at yours like 6 days a week.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
insane.
I remember my mom was like, "I don't see you anymore," and I'm sorry, Mom. Things are getting busy. I got an album. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but yeah, because the bass line, I don't remember what was going on in my head at the start of the one, but I had trouble because I couldn't latch on to anything to do a bass
Because
line
it was just 2 chords.
Yeah, yeah.
Brum, brum.
Yeah, so I was having a lot of trouble like latching on to something, so I was just like, screw it. And just started like trying to improv a bit.
Yeah, you're like, I want to build momentum. Like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
This doesn't have momentum.
This is the intro. Slow down, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
And you were just I'm like, what is happening?
What is happening
you doing?
here? Yeah. Yeah, so I think the bass line you hear now on Harsh is 3 bass lines cobbled together. It's the original O bass line, then the X bass line on top of that, then the revised bass line on top of that.
Yeah.
So I think the intro / first verse has been entirely replaced by revised. Then the rest of it is kind of a mix of both of our bass lines.
Yeah. So I basically made a very simple bass line, and O had this complex, like jumping around in the notes and stuff like that. And
I remember post chorus I was screwing a lot with opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very like
I
on and off.
I liked the twang.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
dong from dong. I was like, I chopped them both up and then had O's and my bass line going. Yeah, it was just like the way they ran together. The way I edited it, it took quite a long time.
Yeah.
But the longest thing I'd have to say, or we can wait
Yeah.
and talk about
Wait to talk about that.
Leviathan.
Ugh.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What
That
a
Leviathan's probably
mess.
delayed the album by 2 weeks on its own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy trying to
Yeah.
get the drums right. It's something to do with the drums.
But yeah, like
That's when I figured it out. That's when I figured out how to get the nice,
yeah. Like
but
hit it with
nice,
the
and it hits like very nice. It's like exactly where I want it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been looking for that for so long.
Yeah, but I really I really love Harsh. Like I was listening to it the other day, and I think we probably don't like it as much as we should, because
Oh no, I listen to it
yeah,
on the regular.
yeah, but like because I think we hear we hear everything behind it, you know.
Oh no, I listen to it. I literally put it on speakers and then I do something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool.
So I have like, and I always sing along to "Overthrown by something simple as rejection," and I always sing the harmony with it.
Yeah, that's
Cold
great.
outside, but I can see my own reflection. Like singing that, like while I'm like cleaning or, just packing something up, or just sometimes I'll play guitar to it.
Yeah,
but
totally.
not playing the same chords. Like I'll play like a harmony to my own stuff that I've made up.
Yeah, but I'd listen to it sometimes, and I'd kind of, I guess because like we made it, I'd be kind of hearing the little stuff and kind of like lost the forest for the trees, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sometimes
that happens, you know.
Yeah,
when we're, like,
especially with mixing. So I've learnt to like when I pause it, I go, all right, take a step back. Let's listen to it as a song.
Yeah, let's
Because
listen.
now it's not a project anymore. It's a song now.
Yeah, let's listen to it as a person, you know.
Yeah, not as a creator.
Yeah, totally. And like listen to it as a person. I couldn't pick a better song to be on the start of the album.
It was a very good opener.
Yeah, so it's especially that radio bit at the start.
Oh,
I want to do more of that kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, it builds a lot of character.
Yeah, totally. Especially kind of, I want to do that kind of stuff, like, on the opener and ender of an album, because it gets you in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we were at a mate's house and we watched Fight Club.
Yes.
And the scene with the guy in like that ice cabin with the penguin, like
yes.
Yeah. You were like, oh dude, that's harsh, you know?
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, oh look, look at that. That's exactly what I was imagining, like ice caves.
Yeah, totally.
And people going through it, but that's also like influence from the cave as well. So I was actually thinking about both those songs when I made it.
Yeah. I was imagining like more of like a geometric kind of cave, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
That's what I was. Yeah, more like.
Well, yeah, because I liked the image of like the broken mirror. you know?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. That was a cool. I remember coming up with that.
Mm.
Me and O was we had a whiteboard.
Yeah.
We had our drawing on there for
Yeah,
ages,
totally.
and it was just all in like whiteboard markers.
Yeah, yeah.
But we were like freaking out about
Yeah,
it.
and we're like,
We were
that's
like,
the album
that's
cover.
cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we can use the picture that it took ages ago.
Yeah.
And we could and we were just like talking about the whole thing, and we just get super excited.
Yeah, I really like the little motif we've got going with album covers of like the real life picture in the background, then like the kind of like
I love
painted
that. That's like
in
my
the
favorite.
foreground.
Oh, I have to show you something.
Yeah. Not now. Show me later. But yeah, that's harsh. So second song, really special one, Miracles.
Miracles,
Yeah,
which
this
was
quickly became.
this was just after our
Yeah.
break.
This
We
was.
took a break and we came back and we made this.
Yeah, so after Updraft, we had a bit of a break, came back, and this one actually started as a as a transition for IDK.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. I remember now. Yep.
Yeah, so we're making the transition. We really liked the transition, but it didn't work.
It didn't work with the style of IDK.
Of IDK, yeah. So you said, this part isn't really working. We're gonna have to take it out. And I was like, okay, we'll take it out, but let's make something out of it. So what is the pre-chorus in Miracles was that transition, and we kind of built it in. We built it in from the back. So we were like, okay, well, what's the verse gonna be?
Yeah. And I remember mucking around with these chords, and this was not too long after Lullaby as well.
Mm.
So Lullaby has very similar chords to Miracles.
Yeah.
That's right. And I came with the and basically I had that going, and I that was just like a separate song.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because there's a big difference in tone between the kind of verse and pre-chorus chorus.
Not a bay like sheep,
But it
gets very like
lost
heavy.
in prayer. Yeah.
And then we ended up making that transition like play into the chorus.
Yeah. I mean,
But
the
it's got
chorus
that
is
hook
really
to it.
similar.
Yeah. That bit.
Yeah, totally. Like, I mean, and you don't usually work backwards.
No.
Yeah. So
no.
how was that?
That was very. It was pretty much a fluke.
Okay.
'Cause
So
what I actually
you just
was.
got lucky.
I was playing my chord in a different key, and then all I did was shift it up, and it was in the right key. And I was like, "Wow, that's lucky." So I basically was mucking around with this, and then it went into the that,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Damn, like what a fluke." So I knew that it was in E. I know it's in.
Yeah.
I know like the first part of the transition is in E, or like the pre-chorus is in E.
Yeah, it's an E. Yeah.
So when I figured out a chord, I basically knew I just had to have E as a root note.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So I don't know.
So
I
you
just kind of
so you just shifted that chord into E, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the chord I had, I just shifted a little bit. Shows like I shifted the shape a tiny bit, so I had to add like sometimes I'm a bit specific with my chords, and I'm like, I want to hit there, like at this specific point, because I'm listening to it, and I'm like, it needs something at like there. So like I'll add like something in the highs.
Yeah.
And I'll hold down like the B and E around this, like on the same fret, to have it like a bit more, like it pops a bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
That sounds really nice on guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And then it just kind of slotted in.
Yeah, and then it slotted in really well, and it was really cool coming in and out of it, especially once you add the drums to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, that was big time.
Yeah.
Big
The drums were a
drums.
really big deal for this one because we had the problem of after the first chorus, you'd go back into the
Momentum lost.
Yeah, momentum lost, like just like that. Yeah,
It
but then
sucked.
Jordy came in, got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that really kept it going.
Yeah, it was good because that dragged it into the next chorus and then the bridge as well.
Yeah, and then after the bridge, after the chorus, after the bridge, it just cools down, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, no. After the bridge doesn't cool down, it goes back into a chorus.
I'm saying like, after
it
bridge,
starts
chorus,
to
then
cool
cool
down.
down.
Yeah.
But because the issue is like, whenever you're taking a verse and just like straight up repeating it after a chorus, you need to consider how the chorus recontextualizes that verse.
Yeah, so we needed to figure out how it would change. And I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
And then,
usually,
Jordy came and was like,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, because usually what happens when when it gets recontextualized, I usually make an alt for the bass line, and that usually
Yeah,
changes it enough
yeah,
because that's kind of what's in charge of texture, I guess. You
yeah.
know?
Most of the time, you'll either like build momentum from the bottom, or you'll start up high and come down,
Yeah.
or something like that. And but like you always like shift it around,
Mm.
and it adds quite a lot of texture to the song in terms of like the shape and how it comes across.
Yeah, totally.
It's cool. It's cool.
And it's part of, I guess, us getting better at transitions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So, like,
transitioning into an alt as well.
I'll bounce off your like alternate, and I will make like a bridge out of it or something.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's because now because when I started, it was a lot of just kind of following you because that was just what was feasible. But now
That's the only thing that made sense at the time.
Yeah, totally. But now that we're doing complementary bass and guitar, we can bounce off either, so it's really easy to transition.
Yeah. Once you started like being able to make like tune like little things,
little
melodies,
things.
I guess, melodies behind my melodies. That's when I was like, okay, I can bounce off this now.
Yeah, totally.
And then that just helped immensely with creating music.
Yeah, but with Miracles, like we really liked that bass line from the verse, so we didn't really and we couldn't really think of an alt for it because that. Yeah, it's a very particular bass line. So
yeah,
it's
it
hard
actually
to alt
stands
for.
out on its own quite a lot. Like you could play that and be like, oh yeah, that's Miracles.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, we couldn't really think of an alt for it, which meant the momentum was at a loss. But luckily, Geordie kind of came through and figured that out. Yeah.
The drums, man.
Yeah. But it's become one of our favorites. It's so much fun to play as well. Yeah.
It is. It's surprisingly easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't play all my harmonies.
But yeah, you can't play all the harmonies and layers, especially in the bridge.
Yeah, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
Hoping one day, if like at least for Lullaby, which we'll talk about later, but at least for Lullaby, I want to do.
You want to collect 50
do a looper.
musicians? Oh,
I want to do a
pedal.
looper.
Okay, yeah.
Because I could do that. I could figure that out. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, Rose has become like one of our favorites.
Rose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, next is Rose.
Next is Rose, by the way.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Let's move on to Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rose was really really fun. So this was like straight up on the updraft.
Straight up on the updraft, and then Orion's Bridge came after.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but this one was really fun because you were kind of messing around with kind of like western-y kind of chords, right? Like western-y kind of sounds.
Yeah. It was quite strange. It was like I wanted to have something that was a bit more upbeat than normal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would call them westerny, but it was like a bit more major than I normally do. So normally I'm in the minors.
Yeah.
And I'm doing intricate stuff. This time I just wanted like this.
Yeah,
it's more rhythmic.
Like this more kind of powery sort of thing.
Yeah, it's more like it's way more upbeat as like
I
just wanted that.
Yeah, I mean, like this and Starlight are probably the most upbeat songs we've ever done.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring. The Starlight is. We'll talk about that later as well. But for now, we'll talk about Rose. Getting that upbeatedness in the album was something that I was like, I really want to add a bit more of a.
Yeah, totally.
A bit more energy to it, because before our other tracks were just like drony.
Yeah, and we actually tried to do an upbeat track to finish off the first album, but it just wasn't working really.
Yeah, like the most upbeat one we had is Moonlight.
Yeah,
and the rest is just
it's pretty upbeat, but the rest are just like sludge.
No, but even then, Moonlight has a and it just kind of
I guess it's like more serene than upbeat.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanted something a bit more like the classic like 80s drum beat kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
That's what's kind of going through my head, but it was good fun to put it together.
Yeah, and it's fun to play as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. That one's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, totally.
Especially because it's like just chords. There's no like super intricate things.
Yeah, very easy to like sing and play as well.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun little piece.
But yeah, so the instrumental recordings for Rose done in probably the first month or two of working on the second album. The vocals, however,
that's a different story.
Yeah, so there were probably 3 iterations of the Rose vocals. So Rose kind of has a sister song that we haven't really kind of worked on too much, or at least, called Scatterbrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've never been able to write for Scatterbrain.
And it's hard because they're kind of quite similar sounding because they were made around the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
or one after the other.
They were kind of the same song for a bit till we separated them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think Rose was that a bit? Was that a bit in Scatterbrain?
No, I think Scatterbrain was a bit in Rose that didn't
work. That's right, it was.
Yeah.
I think we were trying to make a bridge.
Yeah, because it got too intricate was the thing. You kind of fell back on the intricate minors.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And then I ended up making. They haven't heard that one. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we always say we're gonna work on it, but it's probably never gonna happen.
Well, you were just like, I'm not writing it. You have to write it. I'm like, I can't make. I have to write about sad stuff. That's just what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I could try.
I mean, yeah.
I either
you can try.
I either talk about sereneness and like, wow, it's so beautiful, or
I'm sad.
I'm sad, yeah. And it's just those two at the moment. That's the only. That's where my writing is at the moment.
Yeah, totally.
I should probably try and work on Scatterbrain to help me. It'll probably help me.
Yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, so
I could try it.
Yeah, so I had trouble writing for Rose. First one, I was like, okay, X, I finished the vocals, and then you're like, okay, send it to me. I was like, nope, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I just executed it even before I sent it to you.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was just like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I was like so excited, and you're like, now that I think about it, I'm not a big, I don't like it, and I was like, what?
What do you mean?
I wanted to sing.
I wanted to record that.
I wanted to sing and be a star.
I want to be a star, brother.
I want to be a star. Give me the lyrics.
Give me the
lyrics.
Give me the lyrics or your family dies.
Ah, damn it, not again.
God damn. Yeah, but
damn.
Yeah, then second iteration we recorded, then both just went, nah.
Except for the chorus.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, good point. The chorus is actually held over.
I like the chorus, but the verses just don't.
Just suck.
It's just not.
They weren't punchy enough.
There.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it started too slow.
What was that song you pulled inspiration for? To have that. It's fragile.
Oh, you know what it was?
That one.
I was talking to Louis about kind of some like, see, he's working with a producer and a few other people. He was kind of joking like, okay, yeah, I've got, like, with their lyricism, they've got really good hooks, but their writing's awful, right? He was like bringing me through some stuff, and he was like, if I was gonna do this stuff, I'd kind of take their hook, but have better lyricism. So it was like, so I do something like, heavy psychosis, because that's a song.
Yeah, that they've made
at the time. Yeah, so I was, because one big issue with the first album is that my lyricism. Like it's like all the stuff on the first album is basically poetry converted into lyrics.
Yeah. It didn't really fit the music. I remember when you used to write anything, it would be me taking it and fitting it to the music. And I'm like, we have to take this word out. You're like, no, I like that word.
I like that word. Yeah.
And I was like,
So this album was getting a lot better at hooks, and part of that was kind of seeing how good it is when you kind of put in those hooks. So I was like, so, you had the heavy psychosis, and I was like, okay. So starting low, kind of going up, like kind of an updraft. Yeah, so I was like, okay.
That song's really good.
I figured out with hooks, they need to be ultra melodic and usually need to kind of either build up or go down then up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. If you get your hand and kind of go bop, 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 I think we're fragile. Like, it's
how it kind of...
it's kind of up then a little thing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It was very good when you finished writing it.
Yeah.
And then all I had to do was perform it, and I remember wanting to have like this. That's how this is the rock star voice, but it's sung as a baby.
Yeah, right.
So Rose is like the baby rock star voice.
Baby rock star
voice. It was me figuring out how to get a bit more. Like
a bit more
naggy, kind of like a bit more attitude, bit more.
I like naggy.
Naggy, nasally.
Not quite nasally, but like know?
more like like
I'm
like a
I'm
child.
cool
or something.
kid.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, whoa.
So figuring that out.
Yeah, the voice you do when you're trying to impersonate Sonic. It's that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, gotta go fast.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're fragile. See?
Yeah, it works. It does. It works. It was but it was good fun. It was good fun trying to figure that out.
You know what?
Yeah,
Yeah, one
I mean-
really funny thing in terms of lyricism is in the bridge. So the bridge, the repeating thing is "tear me back," but you say it like "shimmy back." Shimmy back, pick my lies like a rose.
Yeah, I don't, it's just the Australian accent.
Yeah, it's just the Australian. No, it's the Australian. I want to open my mouth
but I am
as
unable
least-
to.
as least as possible. Yeah, but it still sounds kind of fun, and I think the bridge kind of got the fun aspect. With you saying "shimmy back" by basically, like you do say "tear back," but it sounds like "shimmy back." I don't know. It still kind of captures the fun of
It's
it.
because it's a tear.
Yeah,
Tear me back.
yeah. Tear instead of tit shit.
Tear. I need to tear me back.
You need like
Tear.
tear, but you
No, I can't get the
tear.
R in there. That's why.
yeah, that's right.
Tear.
Yeah,
It's
tear.
Like,
Tear me back, pick my lies like a rose.
Yeah, I can't.
Tear me back. Yeah, it kind of morphs.
I can't do
but yeah,
that.
it
I
still
can't do
captures
that.
the fun. So I was like, yeah, whatever.
It
Just
works.
leave it. Yeah, it works. Yeah.
It was good. It was good fun. Next song.
Next song, Orion's Bridge. So we released this one as a
Ooh.
single a little while back.
So this is one of my favorites to play ever on the guitar.
Yeah, totally. And this
is big thanks
yeah, big
to our
thanks to
boy
Ryan. Boza.
Ryan. He
Yeah.
was
Yeah, so our friend Ryan, he likes to play a lot of kind of bluesy, kind of country stuff.
yeah. It was really good fun working with what he's made.
Yeah,
Because this is
totally.
another one of those songs where I had to work backwards.
Yeah, because it was like, hey guys, I made up this really cool thing. Do you guys want to use it? And we were like, yeah, sure, sounds
I was
good.
like, yes.
Yeah,
Because I really liked it. It was like,
yeah, because the chorus is the bit he gave us. Yeah,
and then I added like a few bits to that, and then once like I basically kept it the same. The only thing I added was the like the bit of the fast lick down.
Oh yeah,
On that bit.
Mm.
But yeah, like having that, and then I had to work backwards. So the bridge
Mm.
of Orion's Bridge is how I actually started originally.
Yeah,
And I was thinking of actually having it like quite upbeat, but it ended up being like
it's kind of like plotting.
It's like a
I
sway.
guess. Yeah, it's like a sway.
It was good. It was good. And working backwards from that, and then one of the best riffs I've ever made was the
Yeah, that one's really good. Yeah.
Making that, oh man,
Yeah.
that was once I figured it out, I was just over the moon
Yeah.
with it. I was just like, and then I think I was pretty sure I was kept updating Ryan. I'm like, Ryan, do you want to listen to it?
Yeah.
Because like I was like, I want to share this with him mainly
Yeah.
because it's just a really good piece.
Yeah, basically Ryan came into the studio. We kind of like jammed together for a bit. He showed us that. We kept jamming. We went home. And I think when I came back the next day, you had like the
I had the start
had
bit, but
the-
I didn't have the
you had most of the guitar track laid out, and from there we kind of worked from there and kind of finished it out.
And this is when you started getting pretty good at bass.
Yeah,
Like you were starting to improve quite a lot. You got past the
learning curve.
plateau.
Yeah, the plateau, right?
It's a
yeah.
plateau, and then you put in more hours, and it just slowly goes up from there.
Yeah, and I think basically with Orion's Bridge, I wanted to add a lot of texture to it.
Yep,
Because usually my
time.
bass lines are pretty melodic, but you had that down pretty hard. So I was like,
I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan had it down pretty hard actually.
Well, yeah, because when you
The
think,
main thing, it's both rhythmic and melodic at the same time, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
well, yeah, and you kind of have to carry that style through the rest of the song.
Yeah, I
Like
did.
it's not like you can switch back to X style.
Yeah,
You talked before about kind of respecting the instrument with the banjo. You want to kind of respect the song if someone's kind of given it to you. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, and with that respect for the song, it was really interesting to make because it brought something to the table we wouldn't usually do, I guess.
Yeah, because it came from someone else, so like putting
Yeah.
it together like just helped spark the idea.
You know, it's a very different style to what we'd usually do. The mood is still pretty similar, so it still fits in with the rest of the album, which is nice.
Which was
Yeah.
cool. I think that mainly came with the vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the different melodies that came along with it.
Mm.
But it was great fun to put together.
Yeah,
Thanks-
totally.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, I liked adding the text. You know, the that was a lot of fun.
That was that's the most catchiest bit.
Yeah, yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, yeah. But Orion's Bridge was great. But yeah, we released that one as a single because we finished it really early.
Yeah, like that was a
Yeah.
one that was like fully mixed and everything, and I was
Mm.
like, I'm just happy with this. Like I was just
Yeah,
like,
let's
this
just
is
put it
ready to
out.
go.
Yeah.
Like everything else is like questionable.
Yeah, everything else was like not mixed or like half done, or we still.
Plus, I
needed a
really wanted to do
bridge.
it because like someone else gave it to me. When someone else gives it to me, I'm like, I want to get this done as fast as possible.
Yeah,
and I want to
totally.
get it good, and I want to give it to them, and I want them to be happy with it. And
Yeah,
I hope Ryan listens to it. I really
yeah.
do.
I hope he likes
our friend
it.
Adrian really likes it actually.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He
Okay.
listens
I
to
didn't
it
know
on the
Adrian-
regular.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's in my playlist, and I listen to it when I go for a walk.
Yeah, a couple of
Hell
my
yeah.
friends from a couple of my other friends not from school or anything listen to it too, and they're like, you know?
Yeah, it's good. Orion's
Yeah.
Bridge, yeah.
Yeah, Orion's Bridge is one of
Very
our
good
favorites
song.
as well. Yeah. I mean these 4 songs at the start, those were our little flagships, I guess, you know.
Yeah, it started
Yeah.
everything off.
Yeah, absolutely. So after Orion's Bridge we've got Starlight,
Ooh.
which this and Henry entirely X. Like almost
me-
entirely X.
It's all me,
Yeah.
baby.
It's all me. Now it's just me.
No, it's just me. Hey,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
I remember making Starlight. It started as just a really basic chord progression.
And it started on the keyboard, didn't it?
Yeah, this is when
Yeah.
this is the second song that I used like the keyboard third song I used the keyboard for. Because Orion's Bridge I used it.
Yeah, but that came later.
Yeah, that came later, but this
Yeah.
one I had in the works for a little bit. Not a super
I
long time.
I remember you sending me just the chord progression, and you like, here's what I'm doing on keyboard. I might see what I can do with it.
Yeah,
Kind of
I'm
thing.
like, yeah, I'll just like this is an idea.
yeah, and then I
And then it
I
ended
come
up-
over the next day, and
It was basically done, I think.
yeah, totally.
I was like,
You had everything but the lyrics. Yeah.
I actually and the bridge I didn't have.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I remember
We worked on
it's
the
like-
bridge.
It was you and someone else came over. I forget who it was, and like it was just me. I was just sitting there. I was like working on it.
Yeah.
Like, what would sound good for the bass here?
yeah.
It was good. It was good. It was good. Once it was all put together.
Yeah, and it was probably like from its inception, it was probably done in 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like completely done.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think third day was mixing. First and second day was coming up with music bits for it.
Yeah.
And then recording them and getting good recordings.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a shocker.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
out of nowhere, and I was just like, I want to make this. I'm gonna make it now.
Yeah, and it's it was really different from anything on the first album and really upbeat. So I guess where'd that come from?
I was listening to a lot of Daft Punk at the time.
Yeah, right.
I was listening to the original album.
Oh, Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still such a good album.
But I like listening to the old school stuff when they didn't have Pharrell and all that stuff. Just a bit before that.
Yeah.
And I had to listen to the classics again, so one more time and all that.
Yeah, totally.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
All great songs.
Yeah, totally. I think that
They're
like
great.
I think their first album's still probably my favorite.
Yeah. I
Even
think
better
so.
than Homework.
Yeah.
Controversial statement. Uh-oh. Yeah.
I really like their music, and I was just playing a lot of keyboard stuff from them, but with the guitar and everything else and the drums and stuff. That was like completely different.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
nothing like Daft Punk.
Yeah.
I just had this slight chord progression that played in the background, and just like this nice upbeatedness of like I was thinking in terms of guitar, like the
Yeah.
like up that
yeah.
stuff. Except I didn't end up keeping the rhythm of it, so I actually had it like that. But then I just turned it into like the chords that they played as now. So it used to have like a like I had this like this cool rhythm to it, but it was
it's kind of like Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
rhythm.
I kind of I changed it because I was like, this doesn't have enough room for vocals.
Yeah, yeah.
And it didn't, because it was just like all like sporadic and it had this like this. It was just like this constant like super upbeatedness to it, but I wouldn't have been able to fit vocals in there.
I mean, yeah, probably would have had to do like some kind of like soul or like funk style vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't feeling like it would fit at the time.
Yeah, I don't think it would have fit either.
Yeah, the way it would have worked. But after I took out that and played the simple chords, then that's when I took it to O.
Yeah.
And he wrote lyrics for it.
Yeah, probably in like 15 minutes.
It was inspired by these things I call 3 a.m. adventures.
Yeah.
And it's basically me when I can't sleep.
And that was...
I go out and I just do random stuff.
Yeah, and that was at the start of the year when you were really stressed out.
Yeah. I had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then I fell asleep under a park light.
Yeah.
At 4 a.m. in the night.
Yeah, totally.
That's a true story, by the way.
Yeah.
I'd leave my house. I go to like a random park around where I live. I'd write some like super edgy stuff, and then I'd fall asleep. Wake up at 5.
Yeah.
And go back home and make a coffee.
And back to bed. Oh no, you just mix, wouldn't you?
And then I'd mix.
Yeah.
And then help people.
Yeah.
Just like ask people how they're doing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like yeah. It was crazy
times.
Yeah.
See, I kind of wrote it about that.
Yeah.
So I thought it kind of matched the
seemed to neglect my bed sheet.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's it's kind of like 3M Adventures where you're like kind of like little like relief from life, I guess.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah,
it was
you
like
could just kind of run around and do what you want.
It was just a breather. Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I remember talking to you about them, like when I just started doing them.
Yeah, yeah.
They're still a thing today.
Yeah,
I still do them every now and then. Just now I have fun with them instead of being all mopey.
Yeah, instead of being all mopey and like just collecting random trash you find.
Yeah.
The Elusive Mind of Man, the title for this album.
Oh my god, yep.
While X was looting someplace during one of his 3M adventures.
So I go out and sometimes I'll just find random piles of objects.
Yeah.
Just a random object. It would be I found this next to a house. Just a random house. They were like they left it out the front.
Yeah, and it
probably
was
like hard rubbish.
Yeah, and it was
like whatever.
It was a psychology textbook from like the 60s.
Yeah, or 80s, like 60 to 80s around that time period.
Yeah, and then so I remember I came over. He was showing me his latest haul, and I was flipping through the psych textbook, and so one of the chapters was called "The Elusive Mind of Man," and I just turned to X and said, "Hey X, this is the album title."
I was like, "Oh yeah, I like that.
That's pretty good."
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I found a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a story for another time. There's a lot of stories that come with 3AM Adventures.
Yeah, totally. And that's the adventure part of the 3AM Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
next song.
Next on the list is IDK, which is also a heavy keyboard tune, I guess.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of MIDI stuff.
Yeah,
so this is like with O's previous experience.
Yeah, so I used to play clarinet and bass clarinet like through school, like in the school orchestra for maybe like 3 years, and this was like probably a year before I picked up like the bass or anything.
Yeah,
is when I quit because I hated it.
Yeah,
like I enjoyed playing the instrument. I just didn't enjoy being forced into the ensemble. But I guess either way that worked out because I was able to workshop this.
Yes, he used his skill, and he's like, needs a bass clarinet here.
Well, like, the flutes actually don't like stop like that.
Yes, he was being very specific, and I was like, I'm using MIDI.
I'm
give me
using
a break.
MIDI instruments. Give me a break.
But yeah, it was good. It worked out really well. Yeah, another quite upbeat song.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny. The MIDI instruments only actually came later. Because it was just like another jazz song. We were kind of just making like 5-Card Fallacy too.
Yeah, that's where I pulled the most inspiration from. I was
But we just, I guess like it just got kind of dull. So I was like, okay, let's add some trumpets, and then it just kind of went from there, I guess, because we added trumpets in like the in that big kind of build up at the start first off.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
After that, I was like,
I want an
yes.
explosion of like instruments,
Yeah.
you know. And so we kind of worked from there.
Yeah, we had clarinets, bass clarinets, flutes.
The piccolo is a personal favorite in the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then the different trumpets. So we had trumpets, but they played really long notes, sustained.
Yeah.
And then other trumpets I would play like staccato and just like really bursty, like explosions.
Yeah.
That was very fun to add.
But yeah, this was like probably one of my favorite songs to put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
it was good fun.
Adding all the layers and yeah.
It was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah, because I've always had like a soft spot for just like just like rock songs and that which have
orchestral instruments,
orchestral elements.
Orchestra.
Yeah, I've really liked that stuff. So this was a lot of fun to put together.
I just remember coming up with the guitar for it.
Yeah, this probably still has one of my favorite bass lines, which is the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that was good fun. I remember we came up with this mainly in one day.
Yeah, this was really quick once we had it started.
This was like one day, and then the other instruments came later. So we basically had it, the basic instruments that were recorded.
Yeah.
So this is nothing to do with MIDI.
Well, yeah, because what happened
was all done.
Yeah, because when we started it, we had like the build up. We had the transition that we ripped out and spent the rest of that day making miracles. Then we came back a bit later, filled the rest of that skeleton.
No,
out.
We weren't doing miracles at the time. We were doing Banjo Tune 1 or Grundy 5.
No, that came way later. No.
We were recording the banjo bits for it.
Oh, you're right. I remember because we had to. Yeah, that was the first time live micing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Because I remember live micing it, and then someone we know named Maria was over at the time.
Yeah.
And she was watching us do that.
Yeah, totally.
She was like, "You guys are cool." And we're like, "Good one."
No. Yeah. But yeah. IDK was a lot of fun. I hope we can do kind of like songs like that in the future. Because that was fun with all the MIDI instruments and everything.
Well, I'm still figuring stuff out, but
yeah,
I hope to have more orchestral instruments in there.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun for the next album.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So in the same vein as Starlight, Henry is also all you except for the lyrics.
Yeah.
And that came out of nowhere. Like I don't remember where that came from, honestly.
It started off with me. I literally just picked a random, I put my fingers on the guitar and strummed down.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was a fluke. And then I turned it into a song.
Yeah.
So it followed a lot of inspiration from Shattered Moons, actually.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of like where it's actually played.
Yeah, right.
Which is it has the intro. It started with the intro, which is convenient because normally that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It was interesting to put it together.
Mm.
Because it was like this weird off chord that I don't normally play. I'm like, how do I work with this? And so putting that together and figuring out like a hook for it. So it ended up being the and it just started as that. But then when O finished writing the lyrics and I had the storms in the sky when I wanna sing a lullaby. When I had the da da da, I wanted to add the din 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 din.
Yeah, so you got the kind of like more kind of
Yeah, so I started layering after the vocals actually. So it used to just be like one sequence, one chord sequence. So do 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 do, and it used to just be that. And that it was it's a really basic song.
Yeah.
Like
except for the bass line.
Very simple.
Jesus
oh
Christ.
Yes, I came up with the bass line.
Yeah, which was so you've got that more kind of guitar-y influence.
Yeah, there's a lot
of fast movement.
Scales and tapping and
so we're planning we're working on a live set and I've had to learn that bass line for the live set. And once you get it, it's fine.
Yeah, because
it's a
it
night-
has a
yeah.
very good flow to it.
But it's a nightmare to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because it's something he doesn't normally kind of go for.
No, that's not. Yeah, that's not my forte.
So same thing as Starlight. I came up with a bass line for Starlight.
Mm.
Doom 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 doom. Yeah, making that was good fun.
Yeah.
In terms of making bass lines, I don't even know what I listen for. I honestly just keep playing until I get something that's really catchy.
Well, yeah, I think you're about the kind of bursts.
Doom doom.
Yeah. You play like you'll play root, then like burst up back to root.
Yeah. Doom.
You know.
Yeah, true. So yeah, I think that's just like what I like in a bass line because like doom.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like that stuff. Like, I think I really like that in bass, and that's putting that together. I mean, there's actually not a lot to that song in terms of making it. There's not much to break down because it just started like simply, and it was just like there was nothing super complex about it.
Well, yeah, like I think that's what I like about our songs is that like there's so much more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was just like really really easy.
Yeah, like
that song was like the easiest to write.
Yeah, I guess the same with like Red Hot Chili Peppers as well. It's why their music's so great.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
if you look at "Suck My Kiss," it's like dead simple. You know? But like my kiss.
It's just
yeah.
It's just like this certain style to it that it's just one of those simple songs that only we could make, kind of thing.
I think what keeps Red Hot Chili Peppers stuff good is they have like a pump, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I guess we more have kind of
like
a flow or a wave, you know.
Yeah.
They kind of drifting down this.
Yeah, not a lot to break down in that song.
Yeah, not
surprisingly.
really.
It's just making the bass line.
Yeah.
And like the guitar was done.
So
the bridge isn't that complex either.
Yeah.
So it's
Are you ready to move to a polar opposite in terms of complexity?
Okay.
Grundy's Flask.
Oh boy.
Mama says I'm always grubby on a Monday.
No, this is the first song that you were confident enough to have a full part in.
Yeah, totally. Coming into this year, we knew it was going to be a really busy year. Fun fact, we thought we were going to get like 2 to 3 songs done in the entire year.
Yeah, after we got like 4 or 5 songs done, we're like, okay, we're making another album.
Yeah, it just kind of happened like that. And part of kind of continuing music into a busy year is I had to kind of let things go.
Yeah.
One of that was the gym, which is why I'm more of a portly fellow nowadays.
Oh no.
Oh no. And the other one was my job. And I blew through most of my savings
immediately
on a Nintendo Switch. I legitimately went to the shopping center, was walking around on a separate thing, just went,
hey,
it'd be cool if I just brought home a Switch to my family today. And thought, okay, I'll get that. And yeah, and then I blew my last $200 on a banjo.
On a banjo.
Yeah, on a banjo and the book Banjo for Dummies.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go, folks.
And that's how we got a banjo.
Yeah, got Grundy's Flask. Yeah, so I'd been listening.
I remember you texted me and you're like, "Hey," I was like, "What?" Hey. I was like, "What?" Because you never text just "Hey."
Yeah.
You're like, "Hey," I'm like, "What? What is it? What have you done?"
What have you done? Yeah.
You're like, "I got a banjo." I'm like, okay. I was like so confused. I'm like, how are we gonna use this? How is this?
Why?
Yeah, I was like, where is any influence?
Yeah,
at this point, I didn't know about Laramie's Flask. I didn't know about anything to do about the banjo at all.
Yeah.
I never listened to anything with banjo in it.
Yeah, because what happened is... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Laramie's Flask actually came after the banjo. Because you said, like, where are we going to use this?
Yeah, I was
know?
How is this going to fit into any of our music? We're so drony. There's nothing we could do at all.
Yeah, so I went online I like went looking for banjo stuff that wasn't, like, the pure folk country.
Yeah.
And so, like, the first thing I hit was the Ramones, because no, not the Ramones, like, I'm forgetting the band's name. It's like whatever and Son. Mumford and Son?
Maybe.
Oh, something like that.
I don't know. I haven't listened to a lot.
Yeah.
I still haven't listened. I only listened to Larry and his Flask.
Yeah, but yeah, and then I found Larry and his Flask. Fantastic band.
Amazing.
Yeah, like
one of my
has
favorite bands today.
like honestly has to be like in my personal top 3. They're so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and
By
they
far.
and
I
get,
was listening
Yeah.
to shit tons of music, and these guys, wow, they're not
Yeah.
even that big. So
no, they
I
deserve
wish
to be
they deserve to be
they
massive.
deserve to be superstars, man. Honestly.
Yeah, they're so great. The
Yeah.
music is fantastic.
Yeah, honestly, stop this podcast, listen to the album By the Lamplight, and come back.
Yeah. Hobo's
Seriously.
Lament.
Oh no, okay. What? Okay, let's stop fanboying over Larry and his Flask. But yeah, so similarly to kind of how we saw Gorillaz as the proof of concept for our whole band,
Yeah.
we took Larry and his Flask as a proof of concept that we could do stuff
With the banjo.
in our banjo that's still distinctively Harrowed Harbingers, you know?
Yeah, it was. I was kind of unsure because the only place I heard banjo was like country, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What is this? How are we gonna play?" Like,
and it was
like
and it was like the heavy, fast bluegrass stuff.
yeah, it was. I was always like, yeah,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
can you even? You can't even play that
Yeah,
fast. I was
no,
like, how are we
definitely
gonna
not.
even
Yeah,
use it?
like as a bassist, there's no way I could ever do that.
Yeah,
You know.
I was like,
and-
I can't even play that fast. Like, I can't even do it.
Yeah. So there's two predominant styles of banjo. There's bluegrass, which is that, and then there's what's called clawhammer, which I can't do either, which is kind of like the slower, more kind of ploddly kind of style. And neither of those really worked.
Yeah, we tried it. It worked
Yeah.
for some chords,
Yeah.
but then we ended up taking those out because they were too abrupt, just in your face.
Yeah, totally. So
Even after I EQ'd it several times,
yeah, so we kind of took
couldn't
like
take it out of it.
a slower bluegrass. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
I mean,
no,
it was just kind of plucky.
wait, yeah, you know what it was? It's a
It was
bluegrass
melodic.
that doesn't like fill all the holes, you know?
Yeah, it's just like a melodic
Yeah,
little tiny bit in the background of a song.
yeah, totally.
But it worked so well. So making Grundy's Flask, I don't even remember how Grundy's Flask started. Oh, it was you. It was you mucking around with the banjo at
Because
home.
I was like, you know, okay, X, I've made this banjo tune, you know, and you were like, you know, okay, let's see if we can work
I was
with
like,
this.
all right. I mean, I'll try. That's how it started.
But yeah, I took the song to you, and you were like, okay, I'll see what I can do, kind of thing.
Yeah. And this
Yeah.
song gave me hope
Mm.
for the banjo because I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. And I remember you and Maria came over that day, and we also worked on IDK the same day.
Yeah,
But
that was
we
on that
didn't
day.
get a lot of IDK done. We made the intro and
Yeah, and then
start of the verse kind of thing.
yeah.
And yeah, like I just started trying to fit chords in the background of it, and it worked pretty well. When I was
Yeah.
just playing like simple chords, and it just kind of backed up the banjo quite a lot.
Oh, you know who helped out that day too was Joe.
I don't remember.
Remember he came in. He helped us with like vocal melody.
Oh yeah, he came in.
Yeah.
I remember that. He came in.
yeah,
He was just observing. He's like, it needs something. He did
Yeah.
like something, and I was like,
Well, yeah,
oh,
and that
okay.
was preacher says I only drink.
Oh,
on
that's right.
Sunday.
He came up with like the rhythm of
Yeah.
the singing.
Yeah, so he came up. So the verse is split into two melodies. He came up with the second melody of the verses. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was. I don't know. It was just everything came together,
Yeah.
and I was shocked because working with the banjo was very different. We had to record it, and we don't really record using the microphone on
Never.
amps
Yeah.
or the microphone on.
Yeah, we record straight into our soundboard.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
just straight through an audio interface and then into the computer, and then we run effects on the computer because like pedals are expensive.
Pedals are yeah. This is like when you can, like, there's no difference really, you know. You
Yeah,
might as
I
well
mean-
just
I
use
mean-
the one that
Yeah,
costs $0.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like effects using Reaper and all that is just
so much easier.
adding reverb and echo and compressors and all this stuff to get the guitars to sound somewhat decent.
Yeah, but similar to bass, like the banjo didn't really like agree with many effects either.
Yeah, so it's actually mainly clean and then just an EQ and then
Yeah,
a bit of a
totally.
compressor. And I made sure I kept for the banjo songs that kind of grain, that mic grain of like the air in the background and
Yeah.
that static kind of sound. I made sure I kept that in because in the background it sounds really good of like
Yeah.
those songs because like kind of adds this like old school vibe to it.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
I'll tell you what I really liked with in terms of vibe for Grundy's Flask though is this was one of the tracks where I tried to sing because like I'd kind of given up on the idea after the first album.
Yeah, and I was like, no. I was like,
Yeah.
I want you to sing on this.
Yeah, and I was
Because
like,
I don't have
yeah.
the. I don't have that.
Yeah,
I don't have.
and we knew we kind of wanted that.
Yeah, we kind of knew we wanted
Yeah.
like this more raspy voice, and
Yeah.
I don't have that much of a raspy voice.
Mm.
I have a wispy voice.
Yeah, you're very wispy and clear.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Mm.
You're like. Yeah. I don't have that.
Yeah.
So it was
Colonel.
it was interesting to work with your voice on that song as well.
Yeah, you said like mixing my voice was very, very different to mixing your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm.
So different. What I need to increase is a million times different to what you need to make your voice pop.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
a very, 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 very different mixing.
Yeah, but
Very fun.
yeah, but having both of us on that track, and we were like, and I've got the singing lessons now because of this song, because I realized like how much more dynamic and fun it is to have both of us on a track.
That's like one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, that bridge where we're both singing, you know.
Dude, the bridge.
Yeah, Mama says I'm always grubby on a Monday. Like, yeah, all of it. Like, it sounds like 10 people sitting around a campfire, even though it's just the two of us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's got such a fantastic group feel, and with the
Yeah.
laid banjos. Oh,
The
I still love the dan dan
I
dan
was
dan.
never alive.
Yeah.
So if you listen very carefully, I have that going between left
ears.
and right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you listen to it with headphones, make sure you listen to it with headphones.
Yeah.
Have it on both sides and just kind of just like listen to it,
Yeah.
piece it out. It's
Yeah,
not.
just when you're listening to the bridge, if you're wearing headphones, like just take a moment, try and break things down, try and pay attention to what's in what ear.
Yeah, like some detail, because like we
Yeah.
have
'Cause we put a lot of detail
two
into
different
that.
two different instruments. So like we have a banjo playing on left and right,
Yeah.
and I switched, so you'll hear a voice on one side and the banjo on the other,
Yeah.
and then I kept switching those.
Mm.
So it adds for like this really kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It just makes it feel like more. I don't know. I don't even know what the word is. Mysterious.
Yeah, I think it is like really that like it's very impactful, very kind of roomy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. It feels
Yeah.
like you're in the outdoors.
Well, yeah, it feels like you're in like a small room with a candle and it's getting kind of musky. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, but this was one of my favorites to write for. You can probably tell by the title, but this is based off the Old English poem Solomon Grundy.
Solomon
Yeah.
Grundy. If
Yeah.
you know it.
Yeah, so
If you
the
played
poem-
Batman Arkham Knight, I'm pretty sure it was in that. I think.
Yeah,
when I
so there's
played it
also
ages
there's
ago.
a
I don't
DC
even know.
character based off it as
Solomon.
well. But basically, the poem is like it kind of walks through this guy's life in a week.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of about the stages of life, and
Born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
married on a Wednesday,
and
etc.,
like
etc.
and the DC character kind of took it where like he'd keep reincarnating. I don't know the specifics.
Oh yeah, me neither.
Yeah, but
I
I
wouldn't know.
I kind of liked that idea of having this guy who just like every week he dies and then kind of has to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that was a very cool concept of what you wrote about.
Yeah, and then also kind of like because I want to take the concept and then kind of taking it to kind of like reckon with other.
It was really awesome seeing
Yeah.
like one of my favorite lines. Mama says I'm always grubby on a Monday. That sequence
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool because it's like that's the bit that comes later, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like talking about how it's just constantly going over and
Yeah.
over again. I was like,
It's always
wow.
the same on the Monday morning.
yeah, like
I need more than this resurrection. Yeah.
yeah, it was just great fun to
Yeah. So
put together that song.
yeah, so the song was kind of about like kind of life and death, kind of what you leave behind as well.
Just this constant loop of life.
Yeah, like one of my favorite lines as well is the my final curse, the nighttime hearse that my son drives to my bedside.
Yeah.
With the hearse being the kind of car that kind of has the coffin in the back that goes to the graveyard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
It's like,
yeah,
here we go again.
yeah, totally. Yeah, and like
It's good. I really like the concept of that song.
just imagine like your son having to bury you is one of the saddest things as
I
well.
know.
You know, and it's kind of scary because like one day we're going to have to do that. You know,
like
and if we ever have kids, one day they're going to have to do that. You know, it's
just like this never-ending loop.
yeah, absolutely.
It's it's. I think that's one of my one of the most favorite things that you've written about.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
And very pleasant to listen to as well. And I was like putting your voice on it. I was like, damn.
I need more than this resurrection.
It was good.
Yeah,
I was
that was
like,
a lot of
that
fun.
was damn. I was like, that's good.
So, when you think about kind of theme as well, a big sub theme in this album is also religion.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, one thing I want to do is kind of branch out more with this album in terms of.
You'll hear it in Miracles as well.
Yeah.
Miracles.
A lot
Miracles.
of religious references. Yeah, Miracles was kind of about religion.
Dove with an olive plant.
Yeah,
Sound familiar?
Yeah, if like Miracles as a song is based off the book of Genesis, which is the first kind of book, which is the first book in the Bible.
Hence the line at the end as well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like it's
Genesis comes too slow.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty blunt with the lyric stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Miracles is. Oh yeah, I guess we've got to talk about this. Miracles. Miracles was fun for me to write because it was influenced by losing my religion. Which actually isn't about religion. Fun fact: losing my religion is an American saying for at the end of my rope, basically. And another song by a band called Endless Heights called "Pray I Fade," and it's about kind of like not talking about like an absence of God, which is what a lot of music is about, but about kind of I personally believe kind of God's real, and I feel like he's acting, but why isn't he fixing everything? You know? Yeah.
It was very interesting from my perspective because I don't believe in a strict religion.
Yeah.
I'm spiritual. I'm spiritualistic.
Spiritual individual lyrical.
But it was.
Shout out to Filthy Frank.
Filthy Frank, man. It was something that was like unique to see, and it helped spark like a new belief in terms of like not in terms of
spiritualism.
In terms of spiritualism, because like growing up, I was always like rejected of the idea of Christianity and how it was like it's bad, it's terrible.
I remember like you telling me like, yeah, dude, when I was like 12, I was subscribed to all the edgy atheist channels under the sun. Yeah,
I was.
Yeah,
because that was just like like that my family was like super atheist. Like nah, it's bullshit, it's bad, and like, but it's not. It's like it's not bad at all. Like
but I can't.
The whole belief of it, I really like. I'm like, I mean, just like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it, seeing it from your perspective.
Yeah, totally.
Where it was just like this, I don't know, just the way you view it. It's just good. It's quite refreshing. Yeah,
and then that kind of carries over to Grundy's Flask. You kind of see kind of more religious themes there, and it's the same. It's the outlook's a bit different on this one, so it's talking about kind of fate and predestination.
Black Hole has stuff about that.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's all right. We'll get.
We'll get to that. But a lot of this album was talking about kind of like fate, predestination, that kind of thing. Because there's this big argument that's like, people say, like a big question is like, if God has everything planned out, then do we really have free will?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You've got like different like you got like Catholics, Anglicans, Baptists, like there's different kind of sects of the church. Yeah, so like there's one sect that very heavily believes in predestination.
Yeah, right.
Whereas other ones like very heavily believe that it's in the free will side, and some go,
it's like, do
a
what
bit
you
of
will,
both,
and then
so,
you'll be taken care of. Or another one where it's like God has planned this for you.
Yeah. Totally. And it's a bit about kind of that as well, and with the kind of cycles also. But that was the first banjo tune. We had so much fun making that. It's like probably my second favorite song on the album after Miracles.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say yes, about second favorite as well.
Like, the loops are a bit rough.
I don't know. They're all my favorite. I
know they're all our babies.
Yeah, they're all just. I don't know. It's just like I made something I enjoy listening to. So
like all of these songs rock. Like I love listening to all of these songs.
It's definitely better than our first album, like
totally.
100%.
Yeah,
like 200% actually.
Yeah, like the first album, there were probably like 4 songs I just straight up skip.
Yeah. Me too.
Looking at you, Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes, man. Jeez, such a boring.
Why did we even
song.
Include that as a bonus track? It's not even a good bonus track. It sucks.
Hey, it's the first album. That's what we were like. That's literally our excuse. Hey, it's the first album.
It's the first album.
Whatever. Forget about it. It's literally forget about it.
Yeah, totally.
There's like a few tracks. They were just like, listen to the cave. That's it. Say goodbye.
No, okay, no, it's yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's literally
Yeah.
just the journey of learning music.
Yeah, totally.
It's,
Yeah, and you
it's,
can
it's
really
bound
hear,
to, it's bound to improve
yeah,
the more we do it.
yeah, and you can really hear like on that album, like you can hear like, well, not necessarily the playing because we usually overhaul the playing, but like the kind of musical ideas and the complication.
Yeah, I
I
mean, it
guess.
was good
Yeah.
concepts for sure.
Totally. Yeah, so Harsh is very, sorry, Hearth. Hearth is very kind of one note. You can tell that's kind of an early one. Same with Riverroll, and then as you kind of move through, you get more kind of complex stuff like Inverloch and the Cave.
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff that came later. Anyway, but we'll move to our second banjo tune, which is Among the Willows. Fun fact, called Banjo Tune 2 for the entire album cycle.
Yep.
Yeah, we were turning it into our distributor, and we were like, oh, we need an actual name for this.
Yeah, same thing with a
Yeah.
lot of the songs in this. But it's cool because we weren't focused on, I guess, like the look of this album. In the first one we were focused on like the whole story of the album and stuff. But
Yeah.
in this one we were like focused on more like the content of it,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is good because we didn't really
Yeah.
like care about what they were called. Like this one called IDK, and it has nothing
Yeah.
to do with about not knowing anything.
Yeah, IDK is literally when it came to turn it in, we didn't know what to call it.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, maybe if I had like another 3 days or something, but we were just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was good, but Among the Willows,
Yeah, this was
nearing the
end.
end of
Yeah.
finishing the album.
You know what this was? Actually, this song and Durry were made in the 3-month gap, which is like the mixing gap.
Yeah, this is when I was mixing every single track. So the way we kind of do everything is that we record it first, then we do the effects and mixing.
Yeah, I mean,
I do
you
the
can,
effects and mixing later.
Yeah, you can listen to some previous episodes if you want to hear a more in-depth look at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the kind of mixing period, we made this and Leviathan. So this was the second banjo tune, bit more complex than Grundy's Flask in terms of like on the banjo. I was getting
Oh
kind of
yes,
faster.
on the banjo side, yeah.
Yeah. Everything else side, probably not.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one was just like a really nice. I wanted to make something really nice to listen to,
Yeah.
so
like,
we kept it basic.
yeah, I think this actually started with the guitar, right?
No, it started with your banjo
No?
tune, and then I
What riff did I make up first? Was it? It was.
you
probably
came up
the
with chords
chorus.
first.
Oh, that's
And
right.
and then basically I
That's
translated
right.
them on guitar,
Yeah, so
and then I
did
played the chords, and then you played a little like progression
yeah.
thing.
Then I played like the bluegrass.
Because we were
Yeah.
like, we learnt from Grundy's Flask that chords on the banjo don't sound the best unless they are played like fast or arpeggiated
yeah,
or stuff like
a lot
that.
of banjo is arpeggiated chords.
Yeah, so
basically.
basically that's what we did. So
Yeah.
O used to play the chords on the banjo, like
yeah,
the whole
was,
chord,
I think it was like
and then
C E F was the progression.
C E A minor F.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember you playing them, and I was just like, this is good, but
This is
I
good.
said I remember
Yeah.
getting you to arpeggiate it, and then I showed you to like, and then you took off your finger for one of them by accident, and I was like,
Yeah.
do that, and then put it back on, and then like after you arpeggiated a C chord on the banjo, you started doing that for the rest of the song.
Yeah. Like the first verse is basically an arpeggiated C chord with, I think
like-
with E minor mixed in.
Yeah, probably A.
Yeah, E minor,
or
A.
something
Yeah,
like that.
I haven't still learned my music theory for the
No,
banjo.
it's cool.
Yeah, I've kind of been trying to double down on the bass recently.
Yeah.
But I do need to skip back to that sometime because it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Among the Willows, it was a really fun song to do. Again, it was probably like came together really quickly as well.
Yeah, it was one of those songs that just like everything happened all at once,
Mhm.
and this was like while I was mixing at the same time,
Yeah, totally.
and it was
Yeah.
really easy to put together. I remember after we'd done it all,
Yeah.
it was like not even that long mixing. The hardest bit was like doing.
I think you needed to mess with the
Echoes.
timing of some.
It was the vocals. So if you listen to it, like a marathon fire, and it has the echo fire in that different EQ, more in the mids and stuff.
Fire. Yeah. It's got kind of radio-y.
That So I got that. Getting the timing of that. That was the longest thing in that whole thing.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I chopped up the banjo a bit because some bits were a little bit out of time, but I just quickly
Yeah.
chopped it up and then moved
Yeah,
it
and
in
you
the
can't
right
even
place.
really notice it.
No,
Yeah.
you just need to hear the initial pluck because that's the only bit that stands out because the guitar takes care of the rest. So it's very carried by the guitar, which is good because it's just chords.
Yeah.
It's a very simplistic song, and then the lyrics.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. It's funny when you think about like, like, when I'm playing bass, when I play bass in the bass line, I usually put down the melody. It's the same kind of thing with the banjo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess I'm like still doing the same kind of thing,
Yeah,
but
basically.
it's fun doing it with a different instrument.
Yeah, because you hit
Yeah.
a different EQ and you hit at a different point where it's just like at a higher frequency.
Yeah, totally.
So it was great fun. Adds a lot of dynamic, dynamic movement, especially if we added both the banjo and the bass.
Yeah.
Hoping to do that maybe soon.
Yeah, like with banjo especially, like I look at Grundy's Flask and Among the Willows, and they're not really country songs, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanna be kind of looking out for more chances to be able to put it in other songs and kind of keep messing with it because I think there's a lot there that we can dig into.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next song.
Yeah, totally. Okay, next song, Black Hole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the
Very first one.
very first song of the second album.
Jeez.
And this is
This is
extremely bass
your
carried.
comeback. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
totally.
this was O showing me how much he has improved.
Yeah,
This was
totally.
basically O's show off period.
Yeah, this was coming back after 3 months of just practicing, and learning some more music theory.
I'm figuring out we need to do more after an album.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we probably wasted so much time.
Oh, it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah. So this song, like, if you listen to it, it's like the guitar's more just kind of backing it up.
Yeah.
Because what it is it's me playing a lot of opens with other notes.
Yeah.
With the phaser kind of twisting them together.
Yeah,
a
it was
way.
cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool the way it comes together. It sounded very spacey.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that's where we
That-
got the kind of black hole.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounded like it had a lot of spacey vibes. But you should talk about what the song is about. Because
Yeah,
that's very
totally.
cool. That's an awesome can't even say the word. Philosophical idea.
Yeah. So there's a very famous philosopher called Martin Heidegger. Heidegger, who some say is like kind of the father of modern philosophy, and this was kind of based off his idea of like all internal kind of issues coming from being overwhelmed by possibilities.
Yeah.
And that like to move forward, humans have to kind of mentally like kind of cut off the possibilities in their head to find their kind of road.
Yeah.
Because they're very much kind of thrown into life without kind of being asked and not being kind of set a roadmap.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
Yeah.
you get plopped in an open world. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, so it's he calls it temporal confusion and like the theory of thrownness, in that, like everything's very unfamiliar. We're not kind of taught we're not taught exactly what we kind of need to know. We're not sure where we're going. And it's kind of funny because if you take that kind of literally and you sit there and you think about all the possibilities you have from moment to moment, it's kind of right, like at any moment I can change my entire life by, I don't know,
going
like,
down another possibility.
well, yeah, totally. Or just like, picking up this pen and stabbing you to death.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of crazy stuff and a bunch of little stuff as well. Like, can totally change everything. And so I had a lot of fun writing for this one. And this was when I was trying to really focus down on the hooks
Yeah.
as well. So so this one's pretty, like, hyper melodic as well, especially in the bridge, which was a total killer. Yeah, this is probably my favorite bridge in the album.
Yeah, the way just the way it shifts the whole song.
Dun, dun. Yeah, it's so much. Yeah, and the vocal tracks are really, really fun. Lots of layered, lots of kind of.
Yeah, this is when I was very focused on technique. So that's why I was like very clear vocals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is me just doing like pure technique, not much with like fancy runs or anything. It's
Yeah.
just kind of basic, like.
Yeah, which I think we kind of needed,
Yeah.
especially after the first album.
Yeah, it was just kind of a mess.
Yeah.
We wanted a bit more structure.
Yeah, because I remember showing it to people, and some people, like, before we did like a bunch of retakes, and people were like, I can't understand what this guy's saying. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of that was EQ. Part of that was you being new to singing. And
One new to singing, two new to mixing,
Yeah, and
being
luckily,
new to making music. I think.
yeah, and luckily we sorted most. It all sounds relatively clear in our final versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are still a couple problem bits here and there, but for the most part, it's really good. But yeah, for Black Hole, you focusing on that clarity and bringing that through the rest of the album was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really just upped everything. It's upped the ante.
Yeah, I think he did there's a little bit of keyboard effects in this one as well.
Yes, like
Yeah.
actually no, it's not keyboard. It's actually put that on your bass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you know
okay.
like the little twinkles in the background.
Yeah.
That's running through. So your bass is doing the same thing as when I run it through a tuner. That tuner goes through
Oh.
a keyboard,
Okay. Yeah.
and that keyboard is a sequencer
Mm.
that
Yeah.
plays through a synth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or and then I've pitched it up
Mm.
like 2 octaves.
Yeah. Two,
So it has,
3
like, this
octaves. Yeah. So it's got the
like this-
twinkly.
the twinkly
yeah.
effect to it,
Mm.
and then it slowly speeds up as it goes.
Mm.
So that was fun to set up the automation for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, learning that was pretty fun.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with Black Hole. It's funny because when I first brought it to you, you initially didn't think it was going to work.
Well, I
'Cause it's-
said I couldn't
yeah.
think of any guitar bits for it.
Yeah,
And I was
right.
like, you know what, I'll just join you.
Yeah,
And then I just backed it up, and just to have it in a different EQ basically.
yeah,
Before I was on that really, really bassy side.
yeah. Because
And then
all the opens like kind of
I basically
compensate.
brought it up with the guitar,
Yeah,
and
totally.
then I played it on the high and then the mids,
Yeah,
and then it
because
just kind of covered every spot.
yeah, totally. Yeah,
It was
you
good.
you kind of filled the gaps. Yeah, because I guess there wasn't really room for a big guitar line because all
Yeah,
the
not
opens really took up a lot of space.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't come up with any chords for it as well.
Yeah.
There wasn't
yeah.
a lot of chords that would go with it, because if I did a chord, it would just cover the whole
Mm.
bass line.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to cover that, so I'll bring
Mm.
it out by playing along with you.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was cool.
Okay. After Black Hole, we've got Durry. So this was another song
That
That-
came.
that came in the break period. So originally this was a 12-track album, but
Yes.
we kind of just got bored.
Yeah, and these two were the ones that came after Among the Willows and Durry
Yeah, totally.
was the two.
Yeah, so Durry didn't actually start as a heavy song at all. Like it started something totally different.
And then I was
Yeah.
like, screw it, we're making this heavy.
Well, yeah,
I remember because we were trying to
because
we
you
were
wanted
trying
to
to
add
dip
these.
into both.
Yeah, you wanted to add these heavy elements, and I was like, okay, we'll see how that goes. And they got to the point we had to pick one or the other.
Oh
and the
no,
heavy.
we had a completely different idea and we completely scrapped it, and then I came up with the new riff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
we had this
yeah.
idea where I was like playing like this nice stuff, and then it went into like this heavier stuff, but it was just too jumpy between two genres.
Yeah. So yeah.
And
so
we were like, man, this is the
Mm.
same thing as Hearth, because that's something
Yeah.
that happened at
Yeah.
towards the end of Hearth, where we tried to do like this heavy outro bit.
Mm.
It just didn't work. It was just too jumpy, and then putting this together was it just it didn't work, and then we scrapped it, and then I came up with this riff. I was like, nah, we're getting rid of this, and then I just picked up the guitar. I just figured out like a riff in like
Yeah, because we took some of the
2
same.
minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, we took some of the same kind of ideas, similar sounds, and just tried to just start again, take those ideas, and see what we could do.
And yeah, playing it's really funny. Like you can hear it just the way it's been put together was just I did it very quickly, and it just worked out
Yeah.
surprisingly well.
Yeah.
And it was the first one where we did a lot of heavy stuff. And I think that was really fun to do.
Yeah, totally.
It's not exactly up our alley of music either, but it was very fun to put together.
Yeah, because it was making it heavy, but still to the point that we personally enjoyed it.
Yeah, because it had
Yeah.
that "My many sorrow," so it had a melody to
Yeah.
it.
Well, because the thing is,
This is when I was listening to a lot of Slipknot.
Yeah,
Actually,
okay.
I think I made it when Slipknot's new album came out
really
this year.
Didn't-
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like it was a couple months before. Oh, actually,
No.
yeah, I don't follow Slipknot, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a little bit after that, and I wanted to have more melodic stuff, because they have a lot of melodic stuff.
Well, yeah, because that's the
'Cause
thing
they've got-
about heavy music. I don't like heavy melodies. You know.
I don't want to disrespect Slipknot, so I'm gonna Google what the song's called. I'm pretty sure it's called Unsainted.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, like I don't like a lot of the really heavy music because I don't like, I guess, the heavy style melodies. So I was kind of taking the style of melody that we enjoy and making it heavier.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It just added
Yeah.
a bit more grunt to it, and that's when the rock star voice really
Yeah,
came to be.
because it wasn't working until you got the rock star.
to make a bed.
Yeah,
That bit.
because
I
it
do
was
it now. It's
'cause
the
it
morning,
was-
but
yeah, because it was too mopey. Like I guess because we
yeah, you were like, fix it, X, fix it,
yeah
and I was like, I'll try.
yeah because it wasn't like hard. Like the rest of the song was hard hitting, but the vocals just weren't quite there. So I was like, we have to do something in the lyrics. Sorry, we have to do something in the vocal performance to keep it up to caliber. And you, laid on the rockstar voice, which I hadn't really seen before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, let me try this.
yeah, and it worked really, really.
Yeah,
well.
it kind of brought it kind of nicely together.
When I didn't try on my deathbed to make amends.
Yeah, really high up there.
Yeah, that really rocked. Yeah.
That was cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you guys listen to the song, when you get to the chorus, and you're like dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's more kind of melodic bass.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Because it
got
sounds kind of like a piano.
I got
weirdly.
I got O's bass track, and I just pushed up all the mids. So like everything I would do for like a really high guitar, like radio style guitar.
Yeah.
I did that for the bass, and it ended up carrying the melody of the singing
Mm.
with the "My many sorrows."
Well, yeah, because originally wasn't
bit.
what I played there what I wanted for the bass line. Then you were like, you kind of need to help hold up the guitar riff. Was that it? Yeah. So we were like, okay, we'll make this kind of more guitar-y and then do another bass line to kind of hold that together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool though. Putting that together, great fun.
Yeah. So I think we learned something really good from this when we're making heavy stuff, because before that, all of our heavy stuff had kind of failed, or we'd had to tone down the.
The
heavy
only thing
aspects.
that we've done right, but this had no singing at all, was the cave, and that was the bridge.
Yeah, and that had no singing in it.
Yeah,
Because again, the melody was the issue.
That bit
Yeah,
was the only bit we've done heavy.
yeah, totally. And even Leviathan is a weird funk in some bits, you know.
Yeah,
You know,
Leviathan.
it's like
Leviathan,
funk metal
man.
fusion. Okay, we'll get to Leviathan,
Next, right?
but that's no. Not
Oh,
next.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
right.
We've got.
Oh, yeah,
right.
we need to talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. Still. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. We'll get to that. I need to save that for later.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Durry, we learned that when we're doing heavy stuff, we need to kind of forget what we know about heavy music, take the melodies and stuff we like, and then heavyify that.
Yeah.
We kept trying to do stuff that we weren't good at and that we didn't.
Yeah, that we weren't
like.
comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, it didn't work out because we were just weren't
Because
trying really.
Because our personal styles, like, we personally didn't like all of the stuff we were making. Our
Yeah.
personal styles didn't fit, and then what we kind of came out with didn't fit together.
Yeah, so yeah, we learned that we have to, when we have,
When we're tackling
idea.
someone new, something new.
Yeah. When we have this idea and we either want to make it heavy, we just grab an idea we've made and just like change the effects and maybe add a different rhythmic event. Like,
I mean, same
thing
thing with
to
the
it.
banjo that we were talking about before. You know, we looked at the two kind of predominant styles of banjo and how it's used. Kind of an air that doesn't really work for us, and kind of Harrowed Harbingers have fight it. Yeah. So I guess it's kind of like you have to put a bit more effort into hashing that out.
yeah, a little bit more than we normally would, because it's like trying to fit into something, but as well as being a something. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
totally. Yeah, because like, you know, Rose, Orion's Bridge, all that stuff, generally very comfortable, generally pretty easy to put together. Whereas like, you know, Durry and Leviathan was so hard to put together.
They were like the last few that that I mixed,
Yeah, totally.
just because it was so like unfamiliar. I was like, I don't know what effects to use, because normally I have like a set of effects I use.
Yeah, you've got a joke about arpeggio delays. There needs to be at least one arpeggio delays
Yes.
guitar track in every song.
Yes, but we did change that.
Yeah. But yeah, Durry was a lot of fun. We managed to hash it out pretty well. And it was kind of a return to the old writing style in terms of lyricism, which was fun to go back to.
Yeah.
And revisit. And it was good because we had a lot of extra time, so we weren't rushing anything, taking it nice and slow.
It was cool.
Yeah.
But
man, that took ages.
That took a long time to figure vocals out for Durry.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to get it to sound cohesive and not mopey, really.
Yeah. It sounded pretty like it was me trying to sing, but my voice just wasn't doing it at the time.
Yeah,
and then basically I practiced like a week beforehand. And then when we got back in, I was like, okay, I'm going to get this track down.
Yeah.
And I was like dedicated. I'm like, no, nothing else is getting in the way. You're like,
yeah,
lunchtime? I'm like, no.
No. Yeah, lunchtime? No.
No.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been consistent.
Yeah, right.
Because if I ate something, it would have messed up my vocal cords. I was like, done something. I know something would have messed up.
Yeah, was this when you were listening to Korn as well?
Yep.
Because I think you took a bit of that tone in the rock star voice as well.
Yep.
That kind of
yeah.
I
don't have that voice, but I tried to like adapt it to mine.
Yeah.
Like I pulled influence from it, but I wanted to have more like, have the dun 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 dun, like that stuff. I wanted to add more of that, but it's fine. It doesn't really suit my voice, so it's kind of fair.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Durry. Next song, a lot of fun, Lullaby. Yes, it's such a that one's another really big change for us in terms of what we're putting out. So there's a lot of stuff we've done kind of behind the scenes that sounds like Lullaby that we never kind of
brought out.
Yeah, that we never brought out.
Yeah, so this is like all the background stuff that kind of goes into one of our songs, but I kind of brought it all into the open.
Yeah, totally.
So it started with me playing Orion's Bridge, but instead of having it tuned to drop D, I had it tuned to just E standard.
Yeah, right.
And I played it. I played the dun, 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 that bit, but I played it wrong.
Okay.
And I hit the
don.
Yeah, like the first note. I was like, oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, I might as well roll with it. So I tried to figure out how to play it on E standard. How to figure out how to play Orion's Bridge on E standard. This is just me mucking around.
Yeah.
And then I ended up finding a whole different progression through that, and I came with that bit, and that was that I had that on loop, and I was like, all right, well I guess I'll record it so I don't forget it. That's how recording this song started. And then I had to think of a melody, like a vocal melody for it, because I showed you. And I was like, hey, have a look at this. What do you think about it? And you were like, yeah, it's all right. It sounds pretty nice. And then you sent me something back where you were working on, I don't know what you were working on at the time.
Oh, me neither.
It was probably some crazy bass track.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
But, so after I put that together, I don't know, I just like kept adding small details I think it needed.
Yeah, because I think...
So I was trying to
cover...
cover...
if you had the bridge at that point either. You kind of had like the kind of verse chorus.
The bridge is just reversed.
Oh, remember? That's right. Well, yeah, I'll tell you what though, the heartbeat in the bridge.
That's actually not in there anymore.
What?
I was so sad because I lost the file and I couldn't get it again.
Oh.
So it's
come on.
I literally found out last minute when I tried to open it.
Yeah.
And this was after I already uploaded it.
Oh.
So.
Damn, that sucks. Bad. Yeah. There used to be okay at the end of the bridge. There used to be this heartbeat was just good, dun 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 dun, and then goes back into chorus. Man, now that's a true loss.
Yeah. Now the effects fade off. It sounds not too bad.
Okay. Look, when you'll see those memes, like we've lost legends this year with like, well,
we lost the heartbeat.
All those rappers. Just make sure to edit in Lullaby heartbeat at the end of the bridge. Wow, I'm devastated.
Me too. When I found out, I was like, I spent so long trying to get that sound.
Trying to get the file back, yeah.
Yeah, trying to get that file back. Ugh.
Yeah, because that.
And then it ended up getting corrupted.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh my, yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah, didn't like a lot of stuff end up getting corrupted that you had to redo in that. Yeah.
Because it was because that's how many effects are on everything.
Yeah.
So this was me just like sitting there, and I was working on this throughout the whole entirety of the making of this album, basically. So I had like all these tracks laid out, and I was just trying to get it right, and I was just EQing it every single week, trying to get like this clarity in the whole thing, and I eventually got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And then I rendered it, and then I listened to it, and then I fell asleep to it several times.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah, I remember like every month or so, like I'd kind of walk in, you'd be working on not Leviathan, like Lullaby again. I'd be like, oh, how's this going? And you're like, yeah, I've got these 3 harmonies to sound.
yeah.
Yeah, and
I remember,
like,
and I'd be explaining the whole thing to you, and you're just like,
right.
get some sleep.
Yeah, totally. But then the writing came pretty quick as well, and then
The writing was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that was nice and
that was just about me and O's friendship.
Yeah, totally.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's nice little ode to us, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because like we see each other as brothers.
Yeah, totally.
So it was. It must have been way easier to write for you because it was just like, yeah. I mean, this
is how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome how it came together.
Yeah, totally. Next song on the list, personal favorite, Daughter.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I pulled inspiration from a guitarist named, I forget his first name, but his last name's Isogai. He's Japanese. I'll see if I can find him.
Oh, is he that crazy tapping guy?
No, not that guy. That's I always forget their name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, artists. His name's Ichika Nito. That's him.
Right. Okay.
But the guy I listen to.
Do you want me to talk about some other stuff?
Distract him.
Yeah. Distract him.
Kazuki Isogai is his name.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you check him out.
Mm.
He's a just really smooth guitarist. He's just really smooth. He doesn't play like super fast stuff, but he's just like super smooth, easy clarity. Tone in his guitar he focuses on
groove.
mainly.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I pulled inspiration from one of his tracks. It was just like this simple chord shape, and I copied it and moved it, and then shifted it around a bit, and I ended up playing like this. I don't know. It just kind of quickly came together. It was another one of those ones where I kind of did all the guitar bits, and then you came in, you're like bass time, and then it just improved.
Yeah, because you had the chorus, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is just an idea I had or whatever, and then
you were like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I was like, there's a song in this, man.
Yeah. And I just remember piecing everything together.
Yeah, the bass line. Yeah, the bass line was a lot of fun because the opening chords are very kind of spacey, especially the way they used to be a bit firmer, but you remix them in the kind of final one to be even more kind of ambient, I guess.
Yeah, I added for the vocals, I added a like a falsetto voice.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
When it gets to the and it starts again on that one, I basically had one that I'm singing an octave higher.
Yeah.
I'm just singing in falsetto, but it really expands the sound that it makes, and it just makes it pop.
Yeah.
But then I added like so many different harmonies in the guitars on that song as well.
Yeah.
And then I've got like 2 or 3 different harmonies going at once.
This is interesting for me because I had to make a really firm bass line.
Yeah.
Which I don't really tend to do.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's normally yours quite melodic or rhythmic.
Yeah.
It's not something that's just like the bass notes.
Yeah, it's not bass.
It's like you don't really. As a bassist, doesn't really play the root notes.
No, not really.
He kind of just goes off how he feels, and he's like, "Yeah, this will be good." And most of the time, it ends up working.
It's how you feel, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, but the bass was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of room to carry it as well because we had a lot of gaps, especially after the chorus as well, where I kind of just held that down. You were doing the nice kind of.
This is the first one we had to make a vocal line that could stand on its own as well for the chorus. Because I remember you were trying to make it and trying to follow it.
Yeah, because
I was like, no, it needs something else.
I usually latch on to one instrument to make the vocal line for, and there just wasn't one there.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
don't worry, I'll come with the melody. And then I came up with one. I came up with a da 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 na 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 da 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 na na na.
Yeah.
And coming up with that, and then after O heard that, he was just like, okay, I got something.
Yeah, because I just need that first little mic.
Yeah, he just needs that little.
Yeah.
And then took it from there.
Yeah.
It was it was great.
Yeah, that was so much fun. It's such a great hooky,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
da, 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 na, na, da,
when it
da,
starts
da,
again.
Yeah, it had like I pulled like inspiration in the singing from like almost 2000s divas. It's really funny.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of R&B,
because I wanted to pull like that. Yeah, that really high pitched stuff that
it's kind of like
that they do.
yeah, it's kind of like like early 2000 divas and like
Yeah.
R&B kind of stuff. Together.
I don't listen to those at all.
No, neither of us do.
But like listening to it, I was like, damn, that kind of sounds like some old 2000s hits that I probably would have listened to at a school disco.
If the Jackson 5 formed in like 1998, they'd probably make Daughter.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe not so ethereal. Because a lot of our songs, a lot of our songs are very like wispy, ethereal-esque. Kind of, I don't know.
I might just become ethereal.
It's not crisp. We don't make a lot of crisp.
Crisp is
Miracles
not us.
is like the most crisp one.
Yeah, and I think that's
The
why
other
it's
ones
so
is all
different
just
for
like
us. Very
like,
floaty.
Floaty, just all in the clouds.
Yeah. Also, X. So we've got a little vocal line in the verse. In your eyes.
Oh yes, right.
Do you wanna give the audience an estimation? Okay, and before we tell you here, just take a minute to yourself. Go back to that bit in the song. Listen to "In Your Eyes" and
Before it goes into another verse.
Yeah, and listen to it on the verse, and just think to yourself, how long do you think he actually held that note for? Because
I had to
he
cut
cuts
out
it
so
off.
many.
He cuts it off about 3 seconds in, maybe.
I held that note for about 12 seconds.
Honestly, it was probably 20. Like,
Oh no, yeah, I held it for ages.
Yeah, you just sat there like,
and I kept it constant.
yes,
It was so
You
good.
just kept it straight for like 20 to 30 seconds.
Oh yeah,
to
it
the
was like
point-
a solid, at least like we'll meet in the middle, say 25 seconds.
Yeah,
where I
and it
held
was
this.
like legitimately we'd make fun of you
Because
after
of
that.
how long I held it.
Yeah. Remember like
I remember
Maria?
I got picked on, and I was like, and then I dragged it back and faded it out. I was like,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
you
yeah,
guys.
and I was like, X, put it back. So you kind of met me in the middle there because I liked it really long, but you were like, dude, no, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
This is getting out of hand.
yeah. I even tried turning it down. Still,
Yeah.
it was just too much,
Mm.
so I had to fade it out. But I did add quite a
Yeah.
long fade out,
Yeah.
so
Totally.
I met in the middle.
Mm.
It was good though. It was funny. It ended up being like a really stupid joke.
Yeah.
And then every time that song would come up, and we would sing along.
Yeah, one of us
we
would
would
just
try and
scream,
hold
"In
eyes.
your eyes!"
and I remember we used to do a contest of how long we could hold a note.
You always won.
Of course.
Yeah.
In your eyes.
I don't know why I engaged, honestly. Just a bad investment, really.
I could hold this note for millennia.
That is not dead, which can eternal be held.
In your eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song, putting that together, it didn't take as long as I thought it would.
No. Yeah, I think we got
And it
really
was
excited
quite
about
complex. Yeah, and we were just like,
Mm.
whoa, like, yeah, this
Yeah.
is another song. After we finished it, we're like, wow, we're really improving. Like,
it.
seriously.
Yeah, after we finished this, we were like, epic.
Yeah. I had to come back and do the vocals for quite a lot of
Yeah.
these songs, actually.
Yeah.
So we had to do that for Henry.
Yeah.
You know, Henry
Yeah.
was like a 6 out of 10 at one point.
Mm.
Where the vocals
Yeah, I
were
really
just
hated Henry at
awful.
one
Yeah, I
point.
didn't like Henry
Yeah.
that much, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and
Yeah, but
re-record.
you really fixed that one up. Yeah.
And then-
Yeah, lyrically, I really enjoy Daughter as well. Yeah, because I don't know, like,
you should talk about the bridge.
I'll talk about the bridge.
That's a funny story.
Yeah,
that
I'll talk
one.
about the bridge. But yeah, the
That
rest.
song's kind of a joke, like to us.
Absolutely, it's such a meme. Yeah. Pro Jared did nothing wrong.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the song's kind of mostly about kind of conflict between people. and people getting kind of, when a relationship becomes defined by conflict, I guess, now tied out, two people come over butting
one of my
heads.
favorite lines in that one is the color purple line.
Yeah.
How has it go again?
Is our purple the same kind?
Or do you see a little more? That line is like, I think one of my favorites by far in that song.
And it's about really it's about subjectivity, and subjectivity in like when two people butt together, and subjectivity in life. Because the whole thing is closing my curtains to a world that persists in your eyes. Yeah, and is subjective experience what it means to be twisting reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I really wanted the album to end on that, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so that was largely what it was for most of the song. Then we got to the bridge, and I don't know how dialed in you guys are into, I guess, the YouTube world, you could call it, whatever. But there was this huge controversy that blew out. Some of you probably know it or heard of it, which is the Pro Jared thing, where all this crap came out about him and his wife and this other YouTuber's wife, and it was what
It was
the hell?
out of nowhere. Just,
out of nowhere.
Just
yeah,
random drama.
Just this huge mess of this huge polygamous mess. It was
oh,
yeah.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah, and then I guess what kind of sparked that was all the sides in the story. I was yeah, this is basically daughter. So yeah, I just kind of took the start of that for the why does a man
and that's about
cheat
Pro
on
Jared.
His wife? Yeah, it's later came out that he actually didn't do anything wrong, really.
There you go.
Yeah,
but there you go. That's the story
uncanceled Pro Jared.
That's
how that's the story of daughter.
That's the story of daughter Pro Jared.
Yeah, but
at least in the bridge.
Yeah, but I liked the verse lyrics so much, I just repeated them again for the second verse because I was I like this.
Yeah.
And are you ready for the final track in the song?
Which is,
I mean, not that daughter is the final
was going to. It's not.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. So last we've got Leviathan, which was meant to come after Durry. So you kind of, if you look in the album, you see most kind of similarly styled stuff is put together.
You see that among the Willows and Grundy's Flask are after each other.
Yeah, and IDK and Henry, and all this, you can group. They
group together. Yeah,
you can they work in groups of two, basically.
Yeah, Harsh.
Yeah,
and what comes
Harsh and Miracles.
Yeah, Harsh and Miracles.
Probably the only exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of the stuff Lullaby, Daughter, both are most kind of ethereal ones.
Yeah.
Leviathan, Durry, both are heavy ones.
Yeah.
Black Hole kind of sits alone. Then you got Grundy's Flask and Among the Willows. Kind of Henry, IDK, and Starlight, I guess, kind of work together because they.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Mainly, I think it was because I wrote them kind of all around the same time, and it was I worked on the majority of them.
Yeah, right. And then obviously, Orion's Bridge and Rose were kind of sister songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They worked.
Yeah, so Leviathan was actually meant to come after Durry, but
there was a mistake.
Yeah, there was a mistake in distribution, and
it was a mistake not with distribution, but with the website.
Yeah, well, it
didn't update.
Yeah, so we distribute through an online avenue, which means we're not handing stuff physically in, which is really nice.
But at the same time,
we didn't the page didn't refresh to where we'd moved Leviathan into the right place, because Leviathan, the mixing finished super late.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leviathan probably pushed the release date back by a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember making. Actually, the initial tune was out for quite a while. It was just the drums.
Yeah, it was just the drum track, because that drummer injured his foot.
Yeah, he injured his ankle really badly.
Yeah, so
he was out of commission for 3 months.
Yeah, because he was about to do it, screwed up his ankle royally.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a tendon in his ankle. I think he had a
straight up lost a tendon.
2, which is mini tears in it.
Yeah.
And grade 3 is gone, detached.
Yeah, you don't have a tendon, bro.
So it was a really bad, and it was he was out for a solid 3-4 months.
Yeah, so
and that was just after we were going to record it.
Yeah, so luckily he came back pretty early. Like this, like we were gonna have to release it without a drum track, so he put the drum track down, which was great, but all the kicks naturally were off. So like off decently bad.
Yeah, it was off time.
And of course he hadn't been practicing the entire time as well.
So I mean, fixing that together, and then there was just a lot of mistakes. So like
Yeah.
the way I recorded it wrong. That's why it took so long.
Oh, I didn't know
So,
that.
I recorded the drum track in a separate thing, except at a different tempo, even though he played to the same speed of the song. And this screwed everything up because it's MIDI. So when I dragged it back in, it was being played at like a quarter of the speed.
Oh.
So it was just being played really slowly. It was just, and then I had to like pull it out, change the playback of it, and then finally edit the MIDI. So I did that, and then at this point I was just getting really annoyed. So I did just like the main parts, and then I ended up just doing my own MIDI for not the bridge part, but
like the last chorus kind of thing.
Yeah, like the last chorus and that the flare of a mad sharpened shadow. That bit I did the drums myself on that one, and I changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I used Easy Drummer, so I copied like some presets, put different presets together, mixed and matched a bunch of different stuff, and just like...
Yeah, but that took you ages.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
But I got it to where I wanted, and this is when I finally figured out how to get drums somewhat decent.
Yeah, like...
I like to the level I like them.
Yeah, like when we make a song, like a lot of the times we don't know if we want drums or not till we've got the skeleton done. I guess.
Or like unsure, so we just like go, all right, here you go, play to this, and then if we really like it, we're keeping it. Otherwise, we'll just grab like either some bits, and then I'll like put together my own little tracks for it. But
yeah, but with this one, we knew like very early on we did want drums for it.
Yeah.
So which is I guess why we were pretty insistent on having it done. Like, even though we probably could have
released.
Yeah, even though we could have released, we did want drum tracks on this one.
Now that it's on, it does sound very good. I really like the drum track.
And this was our second kind of big attempt to make a workable, like, heavy song on an album.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work. It became more of like a funk fusion, which I'm totally fine with, and it sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's a very unique song.
Yeah, I love the start
it's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds, right?
Everyone... What? No, it's like,
Leviathan.
Dude, Leviathan's 3:40. I have no idea what you're talking.
3:40?
Yeah, you keep saying it's like...
I thought it was really short.
Nah, dude. You
Maybe
keep
I'm
saying this.
First revision.
Yeah, first revision it was short. Yeah.
What did we add to it? I don't even know.
Like...
Oh, we added that entire last bit.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, yeah, sorry.
Like, you know the bit that's like just me in the middle? That was meant to be the end.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then we just went...
That's right. I always known it for 2 minutes 30 seconds because that was like the first revision. That's the one I mixed the most.
Yeah, totally.
And that last bit came together because I already had all the effects and it was already all mixed. So that's probably why I didn't.
Yeah, but Leviathan started as a pinky exercise for me. Yeah,
that's funny.
That was me getting my... Yeah, that was me getting my kind of pinky down because I was trying to expand my range because like all the stuff on the first album's mostly me playing on like one string in one space.
Yeah.
And this was me practicing being able to kind of bounce up and down in terms of...
It's good, yeah. It helped you get good. And this is and that's also... You practice slap on this one as well.
Yeah,
especially
also
at the end.
Yeah, also really important in slap is where your pinky's at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially for that octave. You want the octave.
Yeah, totally, yeah. So it started from that, then we have a joke about this being an Inverloch remix cuz it shares a lot of the same notes and kind of patterns.
At least on the bass, not so much on guitar.
Oh yeah, on the bass.
Actually not at all on guitar.
Yeah, not at all on the guitar. But the bass line, the chorus of Leviathan's really, really close in bass line to the verse of Inverloch. Like, it's kind of... Because Inverloch's... Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so Inverloch's like...
It's just E and C?
Well, no, that's the chorus. So Inverloch verse is A, C, B,
Oh yeah.
Leviathan is like BC, like
It's a different
BCA
order. It's
or
something like that. Yeah.
it's really close. And then as well with like some of the latest stuff, it's pretty close to the bridge. But we had a lot of fun with this one, and because we tried to do something similar in Shattered Moons, but it didn't work out, as you can hear.
That song is a mess.
Yeah, but it's not a mess.
It's a mess.
You just kind of have to get past the first minute, and then it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one because once we kind of got into the flow of it, we got to mess around a bit, and that was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should wrap up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We should wrap up. Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoy the Elusive Mind of Man. Follow us on Instagram. Tell us what you think. DM us. Or of course, we've got the email, which we'll leave in the show notes and all that stuff. Well, thanks for doing this podcast with me.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay. And we'll see all you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.